you know.
Okay.
All right, Salakia, technical difficulties again. All praises to you. How
Salakia,
Salakia, we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna close it up here too. All right. So where were we?
I'm still holding Sirach 31:16 for you.
Oh, let's get that so I can be quiet.
Alright, so this is Sirach 31:16. Eat as it becometh a man, whose things which are set before thee, and devour not, lest thou be hated.
Yep. So this is literally teaching you manners on how to eat, but also that's teaching you manners in life. You know, don't like going for the bag, just like you was breaking down. Oh, I got 500, now I want 1,000. I got 1,000, now I want 100,000, 500,000, million. You see what I'm saying? You're not dealing with what was set before you. You see what I'm saying? Now you're being, what's the word? Unsatiable.
Yeah,
You could say.
eyes are too big for your stomach.
Yup.
Yeah.
Eyes too big for your stomach, and then you end up having wanton eyes. You know, just looking here and everywhere, trying to get to the bag in any means necessary, whether it's selling your soul, committing adultery, doing whatever, just to get to murder, just to get to the bag. You know, instead of having manners. You know, so that's all I got.
Yeah, Esau's making the world money worshippers like him, because I was just thinking about it. Esau's son name was Eliphaz, which means what? Gold is my God.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So why would you name his son that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a crazy name to name anybody.
Yeah, Eliphaz. So he's making the world. He's made the world a worshiper of money. So they ultimately use that as a snare to bring the world into a new world order.
Yep. As the king, so the people.
Where you going, bro?
Yep.
Yep. Anybody, brother, got another precept?
I was just going to comment on how gold or your love of money, it's a lot of the times it's likened into manners, as you were saying, or food, like food discipline. Like you think of greed, you've got greed as in, you know, your greed for money, but also just your hunger,
Right.
basic hunger. It talks about filling your belly with riches. That's another thing, and just it's just
Goes hand in hand.
goes hand in hand. Yeah,
Yeah.
those manners like that. But I've got a Ecclesiastes 12 if we're at that point yet.
You can grab. You had a precept,
Yeah, I have one.
and Shalom, you had one.
Yeah, but we need to skip past it.
You had one.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get your precept, then we'll get Yakunaz, and we'll finish off on the officers.
Okay. So Ecclesiastes 12 and 1, and I'm going to skip down to 3 after that. It says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." Verse 3. So now you want to, the times right now, we're in this, really, we're at this point where we're waiting. We can see the destruction right there at the door. It's knocking. And we're waiting. But in this lull period, or this downtime, you need to be in the scriptures. You need to be trying to get close to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because, as it said, there's these evil days coming, evils and bad times, terrible times coming. And so you gotta try to protect yourself as much as you can by getting closer to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It says, yeah, trimming your lamps. Verse 3, it says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble." And so that term there, keepers of the house, that goes into economics, which is housekeeping. And so the economists, they're not that they are prophets, but they see and project what's coming in the economy and around the world. And it says they're going to be trembling. That means bad, evil times, bad times are ahead.
The doomsday clock.
Yeah, they got their doomsday clock that they hold on to, and they're always adjusting it by seconds now, because we're well into almost midnight, and
Yeah.
It's there. The bad times are coming. And it says, and the strong men shall bow themselves. We brought that up earlier. The men of high stature.
Mighty man, yep.
Yeah, they're about to submit themselves, bow themselves. And the grinders cease. That's going into the jobs, and the economy. I mean, the jobs are basically the backbone of the economy. So that's done. This
Middle
economy
class
is
is
done.
gone.
Yeah, middle class wiped out. The poor just always the poor.
Yep.
It's just gonna get worse and worse. It says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. And the windows, looking out the windows, you're looking into your future, your prosperity, and basically it's a dark road ahead. It's nothing bright to be looking at. It's, as it says, the keepers of the house shall tremble. So there's nothing to really look forward to except for the end of this wicked system and the establishment of the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
Yeah, those because when you look at like the sustainable living goals, Agenda 2030, and all that stuff, the WEF talking about, all that shit is evil, wicked. It's wickedness, man. And when you were saying the grinder ceasing, I was just thinking because I don't know if y'all know, but Biden just spent $35 billion on conversion of commercial real estate to residential units. So they want to take a lot of these buildings because most people, like yourself, I think, work from home.
Yeah.
They're taking a lot of these buildings that people are defaulting on. They want to turn these into residential units.
Like apartments and stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of stacking packs. Since everybody can't hardly afford living, to move people in, and it's gonna be. It sounds like it's good, but it's gonna be based on sustainable living and Agenda 2030 goals. And with that is gonna come a whole lot more oppression and unrighteous decrees and all of that stuff. And it just came to my mind when you were saying about the grind of ceasing, because everybody's out of jobs, more and more people are becoming homeless, and these are all those evil days that are before us.
Well, let me land back off you on everybody losing jobs. Actually, too, America's employment rate is, I think it's like at 62.4%. Is dismal. Not because people can't find jobs. There's like 11 million people who just don't want to work.
Yeah.
Last year they called 2022 the Great Resignation. People were just quitting their jobs, and you still have about like 6.4 million people in the workforce looking for jobs, but they don't. That's where you get the underemployed,
Yeah.
because they may be looking for a job that they used to have, but it's not paying what they used to get. So therefore, they're not gonna want to work that because it's not gonna sustain the lifestyle that they had, but when they had the other job. So they don't want to work that job.
It's like a vicious cycle.
Yep.
With the numbers that they threw out there for looking for employment, underemployed, blah blah blah, the workforce numbers. I think it's after 3 to 6 months, if you've been looking for a job and you don't find a job, you're not even counted within these statistics. So these are unrighteous statistics. In
But
the
still,
first place.
but still,
Like,
what
it's
you're
not
saying, people still losing jobs.
Yeah.
But it says people don't want to work at McDonald's,
Yeah. For 18 hours just to make ends meet.
making $12 an hour and shit.
Yeah, make
People don't want to do that, so therefore, people are purposely not working. And now, 62.4% of the workforce should be at 100. You see what I'm saying?
That's the employment or unemployment number.
That's the employment number.
Employment.
You know.
And then you got Gen Z. A lot of them are, well, from what I just came across recently, a lot of employers don't want Gen Z coming out of college because they too indoctrinated with that woke garbage.
Yeah.
So they don't even want to hire them.
Yep.
And then the ones that do want to work, they don't even really want to work like that. They want to create content and they're too entitled. So it's like, it's a big mess out here.
Right.
That's how you know something is about to happen.
Right.
Because it's just, it's just a big mess out here. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Yakunov, let's get your precept, bro.
I just wanted to continue on in 1 Timothy 6 and verse 18, and land backing off the officer, how he was saying that if we should, because the scriptures speak on how my servant shall eat. So if we do come across, a bag or two. You know, this is how we're supposed to. This is how we're supposed to, or two. This is how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. It says, 1 Timothy 6 and verse 18, that they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate. So with you know, the blessings that the Lord, the bread that the Lord gives us, you know, keeping us, sustaining us, that daily bread, hey, being ready to distribute, being ready to invest, you know, to the best of our ability, man. You know, because you get too much money, that temptation kind of comes into your head, like, man, I need to hold on to some. But you know, it's kind of like a test of the Lord, from the Lord, saying, what do you, now I gave you a nice little, what you gonna do with it? You gonna hold it back, or you gonna like do what I told you to do? You gonna tithe that, you know? So
Yeah.
Because it also too, you get a lot of money. Jake start to think, well, we got 10 more years.
yeah, you start,
Fuck
mind
that.
starts slipping to other things, bro.
So,
Piece of safety.
you know, maybe I could get this house. I could live here about 10 more. The Lord ain't coming back until.
But no,
You start grabbing and holding.
Let's get. Let's finish it.
Just to elaborate on that, a good example of how'd you just say that with distributing?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it says ready to distribute, willing to communicate.
so David, when David was on the run, and he had gathered some men, and then I can't remember the exact example or at least names to give, but there's a time they took spoils, and the men were trying to just say, "Oh, only the ones who fought get to partake in these spoils." But David was like, "No, we're all they stay back and watch the goods.
Yeah.
We gotta distribute to them, to everyone," and everybody took good, or you know,
Yeah.
good portions.
Yeah.
And so, just saying, David's a good example.
Yeah.
To look back.
It's righteous.
You
It's
thought
Yeah, it's
about,
it's
righteous.
just. It's fairness.
good
Yeah.
point.
thought about the nation, and like the entire nation, not just
Yep.
you know, a portion of the nation, or just the rich of the nation, or who fought or whatever. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish up real quick. It says, 1 Timothy 6 and verse 19, laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come. I'll read that again. 1 Timothy 6 and verse 19. Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life.
There you
Mhm.
go.
You know, so hey, you know, this is the balances are shifting, man. Of
Yeah.
Esau's carnal system to a spiritual, you know, that spiritual
System.
takeover,
Yeah.
Jakeover, you know? That spiritual Jakeover, and as the balance starts to shift, and people start to get, they gonna, you know, Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, man. The wisdom is gonna keep us founded,
Yeah.
give us that strong foundation for the eternal life to come.
That's right. You got it right now.
Okay, this is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Verse 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So we're storing up, treasures in heaven. All right, adding up our spiritual bank account, like doing lessons, linking up with brothers, going to the camp, because when they make this money worthless, all right, that's not going to even matter anymore. All right, your righteousness that you stored up. I mean, the scriptures do say our righteousness is a filthy rag, but what we're doing now is laying a foundation for the world to come. You know, because this money right now, it's not going to give us what Yahweh Shah says in with John 14, my father's house of many mansion.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather can't buy his way to mansion, different planets.
Right.
Okay, Drake can't take his M's and buy planets. They're still under the rules of Esau Edom. So when the society collapsed, what you're doing for the Lord is most important. That's where you get the Isaiah 65, my servant shall eat, because you've been showing the Lord that you're sticking with him thick and thin. Okay, well in the time of famine, well, I'm gonna give you a tomahawk steak with some Cabernet
Yeah.
and, you know, some shelter over your head. Meanwhile, people out here are starving and knocking each other for the lack of bread. So what we're doing now is establishing righteousness,
Yeah.
and Lord willing, it continues on the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah, even them Floyd Mayweathers and Drakes and all that, y'all niggas still under the curses.
Yeah.
Right.
You got all that money, still cursed, nigga.
There was making memes on him on not knowing how to read with all that money.
Hey,
That's, you know, not to say it in that term, but just to say like our people was talking shit about it.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Just under the curses. Like
Yeah.
you supposed to be getting praised.
Money
Right.
bring about your freedom, man.
Yeah.
that's right. I know you can end it.
Hey, so Lord willing, that was edifying. You know, we're in a time where, hey, any day now, you're gonna see financial collapse. Hey, even here in Babylon, they still are trying to avoid a government shutdown. So, the treasures that we're storing up in heaven, all right, by doing these lessons and reading, going to the highways and byways, is gonna benefit us. So, hey, Lord, when that was edifying, first and foremost, once again, we want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, His only begotten Son. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and true sincerity. Shalom.
Shalom.